With the last new Pokemon game out on the Nintendo 3DS, the question remains, will the 3DS see the long-expected Gen 4 Sinnoh Remake? Or will the fastest-selling console of all time in the USA take it? Perhaps as a build-up to the mainline core RPG Pokemon that is currently under development. Let us find out inside Pokemon Switch. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside Pokemon Switch, narrated by me, Joseph, after attending SAC Anime. This is incredible. Moving on. Despite the great expectations tied to the first mainline console and HD Pokemon title, many still believe that it would be wiser to give Game Freak the time they need to polish whatever new title they are preparing for the Switch. Time will show if it marks a new generation or perhaps a return to a province we already know, but that doesn't mean that the desire and hopes for another remake are gone. Since 2018 could, instead of being the year of the brand new Switch game, be the year when Sinnoh and League champion Cynthia finally get their long-awaited remake. It makes sense. After the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire remakes, it is Gen 4's turn to shine once again. The question remains though, will it be in HD for the Nintendo Switch, or the swan song of the 3DS? But first, let us look a little closer at the president of the Pokemon Company's statement regarding when we can expect the new core RPG title.
It may not release for more than a year, but we hope you'll look forward to it all the same.
In other words, rather vague assurances for the game being ready this year, but with the backing and support of Nintendo to deliver another Switch seller in 2018, we wouldn't disclose it either, as the game has been in development for at least a year and a half at this point. Even so, would Game Freak even have the resources after the split between Ultra Sun and Moon and Pokemon Switch to work on another remake from the ground up? The answer is no, and as such, we believe the following. All resources at Game Freak are currently in full swing to deliver the brand new core Pokemon RPG title for the 2018 holiday. This has the highest priority for the developer as Nintendo are setting the terms and money for a holiday system seller like no other this year to reach their goal of selling 20 million Nintendo Switches in 2018. So where does this leave the Sinnoh remake? Definitely not a 3DS swan song, as by that time, Game Freak will have the personnel and resources to work on another remake, say from 2019, the 3DS will already be as good as dead. As such, it would make much more sense to develop the fused Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum remakes for a 2020 or 2021 Nintendo Switch release to celebrate the 15th anniversary of said titles. With that out of the way, we can conclude the following. There is a high probability that we will not see a Sinnoh remake until the mainline RPG Pokemon title for Nintendo Switch is out. That, or the Pokemon team will pull another Zelda on us and deliver the remake to gain more time on the new Switch title. Though, we doubt it, as it is a priority for Nintendo to first bring a brand new Pokemon title to the Nintendo Switch as soon as possible, and let this one be a showcase for the evolution of the franchise. Nonetheless, since we are on the subject of a potential Sinnoh remake, let us talk a little about the challenges and opportunities since, as we all know, an HD Gen 4 remake will be something quite special. For one, the game will need actual in-game cutscenes and an art style. In order to cope with this, it wouldn't come as a surprise if Game Freak decides to reuse the game engine developed and art style selected for Pokemon Switch to remake Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. This will by no doubt reduce the development time and make it easier to recreate Sinnoh with its many settlements, landmarks, and gyms. When you think about it, this makes a lot of sense. First, Pokemon does what Zelda did before them with Breath of the Wild, create a new standard for the franchise, and then use this premise to create a remake that will fit the high ambitions. And Gen 4, with its deep and complex story and lore regarding time and space, the menacing villain Team Galactic, and most importantly, biblical creatures would be perfect for such a remake. since who wouldn't want to see the creation trio Pokemon Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, and obviously Arceus, in-game in HD.
All of these deserve to be depicted with grace and in the highest possible quality. This goes in particular to one of the most central and beloved Pokemon League champions of all time, Cynthia. The Sinnoh League champion stood out from all the other champions as a reflected, mature, and well-balanced trailer which commanded a ton of respect from the fanbase. From her characteristic long blonde hair, strong-willed personality to her Garchomp, Cynthia is no doubt a character that has edged her place as an icon in Pokemon history, and who we all would love to see and play along and finally against in HD. Platinum had a great addition missing in the other two versions, namely the Distortion World. This setting, with its mind-bending physics, could pose for quite the spectacle on the big screen or on the go. Naturally, the remake should, in a large extent, follow Diamond and Pearl's quest, but perhaps alter Platinum's events at Spear Pillar and in the Distortion World. Mega Evolution, Ultra Space, and whatever Pokemon Switch brings to the world of Pokemon should be good clues as what could create a post-game leading to Giratina. Plot and fusion of the three titles should not pose a greater problem, but what about the dual screen gameplay which was key in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th generations? It speaks for itself that this question goes for both Pokemon Switch and the Sinnoh Remake. The answer though is simple, and can follow a page from Breath of the Wild, where dual-screen gameplay for the Wii U was ditched in the middle of development when the decision was made to port the game to the Nintendo Switch. And this solution worked quite well for Breath of the Wild, which took advantage of all the buttons offered by the Joy-Con controllers. In other words, despite feeling a slight downgrade, we are quite certain that whatever additions to the gameplay and exploration that will be added for this particular remake or brought over from Pokemon Switch will make up for it.
The same goes for the possibility of an orchestrated soundtrack. Gen 4 had some of the best tracks in the series, like Cynthia's theme, Cyrus's theme, and Dialga's battle theme. But to put it lightly, the soundtracks were held back by the DS's system limitations. We mentioned this in the previous episode, and we will mention it again. Throughout this episode, we have played orchestral-style remixes by Luigigigas to give you a taste of how the Pokemon titles on the Nintendo Switch could sound, and add much deeper emotion to elevate the series. At the end of the day, the Sinnoh Pokemon remakes will be heavily influenced by the innovations that will be implemented in Pokemon Switch. These could range all the way from how the soundtrack will be presented, how exploration will work, how the story will be presented, and most importantly, how the battle system will change and evolve. Summed up, the Sinnoh remakes could be a simple swan song a la Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire for the 3DS, or a next level experience on the Switch that will take advantage of all the inclusions that Pokemon Switch will deliver. And on that note, we want to thank you for watching this episode of Inside Pokemon Switch. Please like and subscribe if you are new to not miss any future episodes. And speaking of, the next episode will be up in late January. Do you want us to talk about the potential of another Kanto title or a Gen 8 title in Spain based on the rumors? Vote by commenting below. Finally, we want to thank Holly Wolf, one of our Patreon heroes, for voicing in this video. If you want to appear in one of our videos, that is actually possible through that Patreon level. We also want to thank all our gracious patrons, including royal producer Kenyatta Ali, who help us make this and other demanding productions possible from a financial standpoint now that YouTube revenue is at its lowest again, and get us one step closer to doing this full time. If you want to support the growth and increased quality of our productions, consider pledging to patreon.com/Common Realm.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Inside Pokemon Switch. We just have a little notification regarding if we get Nintendo Direct this week. That might change a little bit of the schedule of 2 videos that we're currently working on. One is, of course, the bonus episode of Inside The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, where we'll be sharing your ideas and a few of our top-tier Patreon ideas. But also the Sonic the Hedgehog timeline, that is modern and classic, which will depending on if we get the Switch announcement, one of those two videos will probably, or maybe both of them, will be uploaded next week instead of this week, since we'll be, of course, focusing on the Direct and bringing Nintendo Switch news updates to you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Take the outro, Joseph.
Until the next video, this was a Commonwealth Realm, and we will see all you trainers soon.